Good evening and welcome to another video with Pratham Test Prep. Today, this is your host Sushila Chaudhary, and we'll be, like always, we'll be dwelling into what is new, what are the legal developments that have been going on in our country, and today we'll be talking about Supreme Court's recent judgment on rights of children from void marriages. Now, this particular judgment is only with the aspect of Hindu Marriage Act. Now, talking about what happened. So, in a recent landmark case, the Supreme Court issued a significant ruling declaring that children born out of void and voidable marriage are entitled to a portion of property notionally partitioned within their parents' estate. The case, which centered around a dispute for partition and possession of agricultural lands treated as joint family or ancestral property, was heard by a bench comprising of Justice M.M. Sundaresh and Justice S.V.N. Bhatti. The court underscored the paramount importance of recognizing the rights of children irrespective of the validity of their parents' marriage. It held that denying such offspring a share in the notionally partitioned property of the deceased parent is legally and factually unsustainable. During the legal proceedings, AOR, that is Advocate on Record, Rakesh K. Sharma represented the appellants, and Advocate on Record, TRB Shivakumar, appeared for the respondents. Initially, the trial court had rejected the heir's status as co-partner, citing a lack of evidence in proving the marriage between the parents. The Madras High Court upheld this decision, asserting that a claim for petition for the Madras High Court upheld this decision, asserting that a claim for partition based on co-partnership right was not valid. However, the Supreme Court identified a common flaw in the analysis considered by both the lower courts, so that is your trial court as well as the Madras High Court. So, the Supreme Court observed that the dismissal of co-partnership claim did not consider the relief that could be granted based on the acknowledged circumstances on record. The court also clarified that if in a partition suit, the allocation of shares hinges on the status and timing of the partition decree. The distribution of shares depends on the events within the family and the circumstances presented by the parties involved. Dismissing the argument that the parties claiming a share lacked evidence to support their status, the court concluded that the appeal should be allowed. Now, this ruling sets a precedent by affirming the rights of children born from void or voidable marriages in matters of property partition. Now, talking about the act which this particular judgment is about, it is the Hindu Marriage Act of 1955. Now, the Hindu Marriage Act of 1955 encompasses Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, Sikhs, and extends its jurisdiction to individuals both born as Hindus and those who have converted to Hinduism. Notably, the Act also applies to Hindus defined within its provisions, irrespective of their citizenship or residence in India. Now, specifically, this particular act targets marriages where both parties are Hindu. The act also covers unions where one is Hindu and the other is not a Muslim, Christian, Parsi, or Jew. So that includes other religions like Buddhists, Jains, and Sikhs. So you need to see that these four particular religions, which are known as the Kitabiya religions, are not governed under Hindu Marriage Act. They have separate personal laws for themselves. So these Kitabiya religions are Muslim, Christian, Parsi, or Jews. Alright, now coming back to the Hindu Marriage Act, it is very crucial to recognize that the act does not govern marriages of Muslims, Christians, Parsis, or Jews who adhere to their respective personal laws. It is only applicable to Hindu marriages conducted in India or abroad. The act addresses crucial aspects such as divorce. So basically, it gives provisions regarding divorce. It sets ground for divorces also. Then the next thing that the act is concerned about is maintenance, child custody, and other related matters, making it pertinent for both men and women as well as children who are born out of such marriages. Now, the section 16 of this act particularly deals and addresses the issue of legitimacy of children in null or void marriages. So, there are 3 subsections to this section. One of them which says that if a marriage is null and void according to section 11, any child who's born from it will be considered legitimate. And if there is a voidable marriage that has been annulled, so a marriage which was voidable, so in this case an example that we can use is child marriage, because child marriage is voidable at an option of a person who had not attained majority at the time of the marriage. So if a voidable marriage is annulled, a child conceived or begotten before the decree is deemed legitimate. Alright, and the children's legitimacy under the first 2 rules does not grant rights to the property of individuals other than the parents, ensuring inheritance rights are confined only to the parents. So section 16, like we have discussed, it talks about legitimacy of children. It classifies that a child born out of a null and void marriage will be considered legitimate, and secondly, a child born out of a voidable marriage will be considered legitimate only if the child is either conceived or begotten before the decree is passed. And these 2 categories of people, the act does not grant rights to the property of individuals in this particular case other than parents, ensuring inheritance rights are only confined to the parents. So this particular case that came in our notice this time, it has a great values as it sets a precedent. It sets a precedent by affirming the rights of children born from void and voidable marriages in in issues and matters of property partition. So this is what the Supreme Court has held as of now, that they will be entitled to notionally partitioned portion of the property which are within their parents' estates. So that's all from our side today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked the content, kindly like, comment and share. And for more such videos and other informative things about your entrance exams, kindly subscribe to Pratham Test Prep. Thank you so much and have a great day.